Welcome to my channel Coding Clean. Today in this video, we are going to learn about the if statement and if-else statement in C++. I will walk you through a code and you will understand from the code that what if the if statement is and how to use it in a program. So I'm gonna declare a variable called number and we are gonna assign the value 0 to that variable. And the syntax of the if statement goes as follows. First, you type if in small letter, then the pair of small brackets, and within the brackets, you specify a Boolean expression. An expression whose value can be either true or false, right? And if this expression evaluates to true, right, this is called the if condition. If this is true, then the following block of code will be executed. Otherwise, it will be ignored and skipped. So I'm going to say number is greater than 0 and L, right? So if we run this program, what will happen? The number is holding the value 0. 0 is greater than 0? No. So this block will not be executed. But if I assign the value 10, and now says 10 is greater than 0, yes, and this block will be executed. So if I save changes, compile and run the program, the number is greater than 0. That's it. If, for example, I change it to minus 10, all negative values are smaller than 0, of course. So this condition will now evaluate to false because the number is minus 10 and minus 10 is greater than 0. No, it's not. So it returns false. And when the condition is false, this block of code will not be executed. So if I save changes, recompile and run the program, we don't see that message, right? Because the condition was false. There is another variation of the if statement. What if we want to execute another block of code if the condition is false? In that case, we add an else block to the if condition. And how do we do that? Just after the last bracket of the if statement, you type else in small letter and then create the else block and type any message. I'm going to type number is less than 0 and then end, right? Save changes. Now what will happen? The number is holding or storing the value minus 10. Minus 10 is greater than 0? No. So the condition is false and the else block will be executed, right? Not the if block. Only one of these blocks will be executed based on the condition, right? Either the if block if the condition is true or the else block otherwise. So if I save changes and run the program, we see the message the number is less than 0, right? This is not a meaningful program, but I just wanted to demonstrate this concept. And it's very simple. Just always remember that there is this if statement, then within the brackets, small brackets, we call them parentheses. We specify the condition. And if the condition is true, then this block will be executed, which is sometimes called the if block. Otherwise, if the condition is false, then the else block will be executed. And always remember that else is part of the if condition. So you can't just type the else block without the if. This is not correct, right? This is absolutely incorrect because it is missing the if block. When you compile the code, it says else without a previous if, that you need an if block first and then you can use the else block. So always remember that else is basically part of the if, right? So if there is an if before it, you can use the else block, otherwise you cannot use it, right? So if I save changes and recompile it again, there are no errors. Now let's look at quite a few mistakes we often make. The first is students often forget this closing parenthesis or small bracket. If you do that, it is a syntax error, so be very careful. If I compile it and it says there is a problem right here, it shows the next line, but it simply means there is a problem before or right here. So you have to close it, right? Always remember, save changes and compile it again. Another thing to be careful about is never ever put a semicolon after the if condition. So at the end of the closing bracket, if you put a semicolon, it is a syntax error. Another thing is always open the bracket and close the bracket. You can't say, okay, I'm going to remove this one and I'm going to remove this one, as it happens in some programming languages like Python. It doesn't matter whether you put the brackets or you don't put the bracket. But according to the syntax of C++, you always put the bracket. So if I compile it, of course, we get errors, and there are multiple errors right here. So I'm going to just hit Control Z quite a few times to put those brackets back. It's important, right? Another thing to remember that you cannot just say, okay, I will put the else block first and then the F block. No, this is a syntax error. The F block has to appear first because else is a part of the F, and the program is compiled from top to bottom. So when the compiler comes here and see else, it said there is a missing F here because the compiler did not reach here, right? So if I compile it and show you this error, it's very important. It's a else without a previous F. So you have to put the else after the F statement. I'm going to bring it back where it was, right? So this is also important. Sometimes if there is a single statement within the block, within the F block or within the else block, you see people and programmers that they do not put these brackets. They say we don't need a body because there is just a single statement. Yes, C++ does allow that, but I strongly recommend you use it all the time, right? Remember, you have to use it. So Control Z quite a few times, though it is not a syntax error, but it makes your code a lot clean and easy to read and easy to understand. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Happy coding.